We're experiencing technical issues with Tony connecting with us from Dubai, so we're still waiting for her to connect. We will get the show running as soon as she gets on. As you know, it's a bit difficult to be able to connect from UAE sometimes because they have reservations about online platforms. But we're hopeful that she'll be able to connect to us in a bit. I say yo Maru, salute bro. I say yo Chi, salute.
Hi, Joseph. How you doing?
I was wondering where the connection was going to actually come up this morning.
Yeah. Thank
I
God
know
it
you are
came up eventually. So good to see you.
you're looking super
Thank
hot.
you. Thank you.
How are you today?
Thank God for this connection. Oh. Honestly, it wasn't an easy thing, but thank God.
I hope as you're connected, you don't have people who are monitoring from under and then they're trying to check
Who are
whether
what?
somebody. I hope you don't have those who are monitoring if somebody has connected from UAE.
No, not at all. As long as you're not doing anything negative, you're good. I don't do negative things. How are you
I
doing,
know.
Joseph?
I'm good. Good to have you this morning.
Same here.
Some people had joined us before because I'd logged on before and had to log out again. I think okay to
Well,
preserve their data, so they probably join us in the course of the program. And it's good to have you this morning. Welcome to Impact Time with Joe. It's good to have Tony P on the show. I'm so excited, you
thank
know.
you for
So
having me.
excited.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored and flattered.
How's life like in UAE?
It's okay. Generally speaking, it's been very okay. But the lockdown was really intense. So, but now the lockdown has eased down a bit. So people have started going out and all that. You know, we thank God. There were strict measures put in place, and people abided by those laws and regulations. And yeah, everything is in place. Everything is going on well. Yeah.
What are just some of those simple things that are going on there as life resumed normal? What's happening in UAE?
I know you're a blogger,
Let
so you
me
can
be,
give us personal information.
yeah, right. Let me be sincere with you. I have not been out in like 2 months. Since the lockdown started, I've not been anywhere. The only places I've been are the supermarkets for grocery shopping and my evening walks. I take walks around my neighborhood and I go for groceries in the
Wow.
supermarkets and sometimes in the mall. That's all. When I go to the mall, I don't see a lot of people like, normal. But yeah,
People have not
it's
resumed
been
work
intense.
fully.
Not exactly, no. People are still working from home. A few have resumed. Like as at last week, 70% were allowed to go back to work. Now, 100% of the government workers have resumed. But private companies, some people are still working at home. Like I am still working, remotely from my house. So yeah, not
So
everybody. You have a choice.
I want to think Nigeria is probably looking at what's going on in the international space to be able to say a few things, because I think a few days ago, government decided that 75% can go back to work. And Maru is online. Maru had said he was going to be here as long as you're here. Maru,
Yay,
welcome.
Maru! Hi. Hi, Maru. How you doing? Job loss from Dubai. How you
Yeah,
doing? So good to see people here.
and
Maru,
others that are connected as well.
yeah, and I'm sure people will watch much later. People will watch much later.
Yes, okay. Nigerians are and the way we preserve our data and all that. You know,
Right, right.
good to have you. This morning I have you on the show on Impact Time with Joe. We talked about the story behind the story. You see, when we see certain successful people, we think they just rose up one day to get to where they are, and you see lots of envy, lots of manipulation, a lot of things people do to bring them down, but they don't know the story. Even if individuals were born with a silver spoon, they have life situation and circumstances could make them lose that silver spoon. So if they can still hold on to the silver spoon, it takes a lot of work. And for those who are not born with a silver spoon, I mean, they create their own silver spoon. And so there's always a story behind the story. So this morning, I want to go behind the story behind this. I want to go to the story behind the story. So I want to take you on a journey, really. Growing up, how was it like for you in Nigeria? Like life
Um,
with your parents, primary school, secondary school?
okay. My name is Oluwatoyin Naimat Balogun, and people call me Toyin B. Toyin with a double E. I grew up in a family of five children, and of course, two parents. I have one brother and three sisters. Growing up was amazing. I had a wonderful father and a very loving mother. My mom is still alive, thank God, but I lost my dad some years ago. And my sisters and brother are scattered all over the world. One or two are in Nigeria, one is in Canada, one is in Dubai, and I'm here, A couple of them are married to with children. Anyway, so growing up was beautiful. My story is like, oh, I wish I could go back to that time, but you know how it is. Um, um, you didn't care for
Don't
anybody, they were caring for
think
you,
how
you
we could go
know?
back to being babies again.
When
Someone
I
said,
have to care about people, care for people, but then it was we were being dotted on and all that. Anyway, thank God for life. So
yes,
primary
sir.
school, I went to Yewande Memorial School and Corona Primary School.
Okay.
Secondary school, I went to Methodist Girls High School, Yaba. And
Methodist
university,
girls.
I went to sorry?
Methodist girls.
Yes, I went to MJHS, the best secondary school in
Mm.
Lagos. Anyway, yeah, so university, I went to University of Lagos. My first course was in estate management. I finished in the 90s. I'm not going to say the year, but many years ago.
Yeah.
I finished in the 90s. Then I did my youth service in Sokoto State, Ministry of Works and Housing in the early 90s as well.
Was it was
After my
there viol-
university,
was there violence in Sokoto at the time you were serving?
oh no, it was so peaceful. My dad initially didn't want me to go to outside Lagos. He didn't want me to go outside Lagos. He was still alive then. And it was like trying to redeploy me back to Lagos or, the Western states. But I was so bent on going out of Lagos because I'd schooled in Lagos all my life. I was born and bred in Lagos. So going out of Lagos was like, oh my God, yes. So he wanted me to redeploy to Lagos or maybe to Ogun State or your state or Ondo State, but I was so adamant. I actually succeeded in convincing him. So I went to Sokoto, and then there was Nigeria Airways. Airfares were not so expensive. I was always commuting, you know, it was amazing. Honestly, it was amazing. Sokoto was peaceful. I did my orientation in University of Sokoto. Then it was Usman Danfodio University and all that. Anyway, so after my youth service, I went back to school. I did a French course in Alliance Française in Sabo and Ikoyi. It was a 4-year program. I have a diploma superior in French. That's why I'm able to read.
You went to Alliance Française. Little
Yes,
wonder you can speak and write French so well. And I was wondering what happened.
My French is better than my Yoruba. My French is excellent.
Wow.
Yeah. So I read a French diplôme supérieur for 3 years on and off. Then I worked in some restaurants on and off. Then, you know, I wasn't really practicing estate management. I went into restaurant business. I worked in Chow. I was a manager in Chow Restaurant, Baywatch, and 1 or 2 private restaurants in Lagos. Then after that, I got a customer care job in Multilinks Telecommunication. That's when my love for customer care grew. That's when my love for telecommunications grew. I'm like, oh my God, I think I want to pursue a career in this telecoms and customer care and all that, you know. So yeah, I did another course while I was in Multilinks. It was, they actually came to Nigeria to train us, Positive Image of London. They actually came to train us on customer care service, how to be customer centric and all that. Everybody's a customer, internal or external, you know, either you're being served or you're serving, you know how it is. Anyways, I got the knowledge there and my love for customer grew and all that. So yeah, I spent 4 years in Multilinks, Victoria Island and Apapa. Then I luckily got a job in Globalcom.
And you customer service for both at Multilinks, basic customer service.
Multilinks was customer care service as well, but it wasn't telephone. It was fast, you know, dealing with customers and all that. Yeah. Then I was transferred to the billing section. I have a knowledge of billing. You know, I was being rotated in the various departments, but basically customer care. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, after my Multilinks, I moved to Globalcom, and that's where I met you in and that's where I met you, Joe, and you were so amazing. I'm like, okay, and we've been in touch. Okay, so I worked in Globalcom for 7 years, 6 or 7 years, I can't remember. No, 7 years. I worked in Globalcom for 7 years.
You stayed that long?
Sorry?
You stayed that long?
Yeah. Oh. Very long ago, Joe.
Did just 2-3 years and ran away.
No, I spent 6-7 years in Glow.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, so in Globalcom, I was, before I resigned and relocated to the UAE some years ago, I was in customer care service, customer care department, sorry. But you know how it was for me, because of my knowledge in French, I kept going up and down for the company. I was always in events.
I didn't rate you when you were in Glow, even though I'll get to talk about that later. I didn't rate you when you were in Glow as a customer service person. I saw you more as someone in the events department, you know.
Exactly, exactly. Hi, Maro.
Yes. Those are the things.
Anyway, maybe because I could speak French.
Yeah.
I was always in the events department. I worked with a lot of people in the Mike Adenuga Towers. We organized the Glow CAF, you know, the Confederation of African Football, held in different countries in Africa, from Egypt, Cairo, Egypt, to Accra, Ghana, to Lomé, Togo, to Lagos, Nigeria. So I was always the RSVP most of the time. Hi, Maru. I was most of the time the RSVP, organizing those events for them, not just the CAF, basically a launch of cards, or maybe they want to entertain the Glow ambassadors, all those then P Square, then Debanche and all that, So yeah, basically events.
You got to meet a number of these guys too.
Yes, I got to, and that's why it's good to be flexible in life. I never knew I would come into blogging, and see, now it's very easy for me to get in touch with them, to interview them now for my blog, because I met them when I was working in Global.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Networking.
So, yeah, it's good to be flexible in life and, just be very, very cool with everything and everybody. Go with the flow, Anyway, so now that, so after I worked in Glow for 7 years, events management, events planning, and customer care service. I moved to Dubai a few years ago. And yeah, and I've been working and enjoying everything here. I started blogging by chance. I didn't mean to blog. I was always on Facebook. I love Facebook. That's one of my favorite platforms on social media, So I used to talk about news, just post funny things, people are like, this
I remember that funny time. Remember that time I was doing something with Twitch Gist, and I was always posting on Facebook. So I remembered when you made one call and you asked, you said, how easy is blogging? And you're asking questions. I said, okay, so you have all it takes to be a very good blogger. I think they can make it. And you're like, are you sure? And I was like, I think
exactly.
the reason why I was thinking at that time was because I'd seen what you were doing with the Glow events and your knowledge of French and how flexible we were and how much people love this. So I thought you could make it in that space. So I really, really was not wrong. But I'm going to come to that really. Let me jump back to your growing up. What is that single most important thing you think you got from your father or your mother? Your father, your mother, who was the more influential, in your life? And what was the single most important thing you learned from either of the two parents, or maybe both of them, that has helped to shape who you are today?
Oh, okay. Both of my parents were very, 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 very influential in my life. They actually made positive impact in my growing up. But I would say between my mother and my father, I would say my father. I'll say my late dad, Alhaji Jalil Ayo Balogun. He was always there for us, for the children, My mom too was there for us, and she's still there, thank God. But my dad was I don't know, parent-teachers association in secondary school. Everybody knew my dad, that kind of a thing, So growing up, I think I was close to both my parents, but I was closer to my dad. But for fashion, of course, clothes and all that, my mom was there for beauty, makeup, But for learning things in life and actually making an impact in my life, more positive impact in my life, I would say my dad. And one of the things he taught me was education. My dad didn't compromise that at all. And that's one of the best legacies I would always say people should leave for their children. Education is very, very, very important. To me, I think it's one of the best things you can give your kids. My dad was an allergy, but it wasn't that strict. You know what I mean? He still sent me to a Christian secondary school, Methodist Girls High School. You know what?
Christian allergy.
Exactly. And but then we used to go for what do you call it, Salah and all that. We didn't joke with the Muslim, but he was just free. He wasn't bent on religion or race or anything. He was just a free-spirited man, very cool guy. May he still rest in peace. May he still continue to rest in peace.
Amen.
Yeah. So he taught me that education is key. When I was growing up, when I was in Unilag, let me just put it this way.
Yes. Tell me, why you're going to Unilag now and talking about what Daddy may have done in your life? I'd like you to talk about Tony B as a student in the university.
Oh my God, nobody has even known or heard that part apart from those that were in school with me. Okay, growing up, my first degree, when I was studying the estate management, I entered the University of Lagos at the age of 15.
At that time?
15. I entered Unilag at the age of 15. I graduated at the age of 19.
How did you enter? Who allowed you to enter? Because I remember even at that time, 15 was not allowed.
I know. I was very, very intelligent. They didn't have a choice. They had to just take me. So I left from primary 4. I didn't do primaries 5 and 6. I left from primary 4 to
Wow.
secondary school, straight to Form 1. Yes. I was that hot.
Wow. Wow.
Anyway, so but I didn't graduate to the first class, though, but I was quite intelligent, you know. So I went from primary 4 straight to Form 1. So I entered Unilag at the age of 15. I graduated at the age of 19, my first degree. Growing up and studying, schooling in Unilag, of course, I was in Lagos. My parents were in Lagos. I was going from the house sometimes. Most of the time, I was going from the hostel and all that. My dad was free with me because I was a bit intelligent. He wasn't so stern. So I could go for competitions. I took part in Miss Unilag. I took part in other competitions. I did video vixen for a couple of musicians and all that. So my dad, as long as you were delivering educationally and you were still, your head was still on your neck, it wasn't so stern, you know. But when it comes to education, he could go mad. Like, how come you came third? The people that came first and second, do they have 2 heads? You know, that kind of a thing. Go
Typical
back and
question
read.
for parents, you know.
I'm telling you. Then even if you had 99%, 99.9%, my dad would say, what happened to the 0.1? What happened? You know,
Wow.
he was that. I'm telling you. He was an accountant. He worked with the Hebrew organization. He was very, very good. And, you know, honestly, I love the legacy left. So for me, I think what I believe is very stern and very important in life is education, because it gives you the basic foundation which you need to step up or build on to be able to achieve more things. Even if you want to go into entertainment, you want to go into fashion, you want to be a scholar, you want to do anything, when you are educated, it makes you stand out. It gives you that touch, you know. That's my belief. So I think that's what I'm going to instill in my children as well. And I thank God my nephews and nieces are well schooled. Every one of us is well schooled and we're all doing pretty well. Thank God for that. Yeah. So that's
You
it.
were
Hi, Japlas from Dubai.
you were so young at the time. Did you
Yes.
any kind of peer pressure?
Sorry?
You were so young at the time. Your days in school, you're quite
Yeah.
young. Any form of peer pressure? How did you deal with that?
Peer pressure. The only thing I indulged in was smoking. I used to smoke cigarettes when I was in the University of Lagos.
Did
You
your dad
know,
know
I
that?
think it was just, no, of course not. How? Of course not. But I think he almost caught me once or twice, but he didn't catch me like red-handed. Yeah.
So
So I
how
used
did
to
you get
smoke
into
cigarettes.
smoking?
Peer pressure. All my friends are
Wow.
like, ah, tell me, you know, that's it. You know, so it was just cigarettes. And most of the time I was just inhaling. I was just puffing it. I wasn't inhaling. So thank God it didn't affect my heart or my organs, you know. Anyway, so yeah, I used to smoke. I think that was one thing I gave into, peer pressure. I smoked for a couple of years. After that, I realized it wasn't so good for me. And, you know, reading all the Surgeon General's warnings and all that. So I just stopped. I'm like, okay. So apart from that, I don't think I think my head was screwed onto my neck. I didn't lose it at all, despite being
Did
a
you did
young
you
undergraduate.
did you party a lot?
Not really. Joseph, let me tell you something. My life, when you see me, you think I'm a party girl, and I'm
Yes,
not
yes.
so. Yeah, that I don't know why. Honestly, I love to stay at home or indoors and do what I have to do. Then when I come out, I know I'm out, you know. But I'm not like every day, like everywhere. You know what I mean? So I wasn't so much of a party girl when I was at the University of Lagos. But I took part in a couple of competitions. I liked to do competitions. I liked to go for modeling. I was a model when I was in Unilag. So I was running my thing. So apart from work, school, I was like going for hostess jobs or, you know, trade fair. Trade fair was very popular then. I don't know if it's still on in Lagos, Nigeria. The one they have
Yeah,
in Badagry
yeah,
something, or George. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So for the furniture companies, for car companies, they would recruit me to be the hostess, and I would work for the 7 days of the exhibition, get paid and all. I didn't need the money. My dad was there. My parents were there for me, but I just wanted to like earn my own living. And so basically, when I was in school, that was what I was doing. and I faced my studies, and I had good friends, and it was just an amazing life. But I used to go out. Not that I was a saint or I was SU. I wasn't an SU. I still used to go out, but I wasn't so much of a party girl. No,
Because
I wasn't so much of a party.
when people sit on you, they, especially considering the fact that when I got to know you in Globacom, you did not compromise your look. You didn't care
Yeah.
who was looking or not. Your standard for your look was your standard. It was either people loved you the way you were or decide to go and sit
Yeah.
wherever they want to sit down. And I think I appreciated that, about your person. And that's beautiful. Anyway, outside university, really, outside university, did you ever get to a point where you felt you needed to move away from certain friends because they were going to make you derail from your focus in life? Did you have such experience?
Not really. I didn't have that kind of experience. I've always had cool friends. I'm not really a friend kind of person. I don't, so the few I have and I've had, I always carry them along with me. And so far, none of them has ever goofed like I would want to stay away from, So yeah, I've not really had that experience of wanting to stay away from friends because of their influence or, any bad habits they had or trying to influence me in my own life now. I've always had good friends. As a matter of fact, if I'm trying to do something like, why don't you do it this way? My friends are not so many, but they're cool. So I've not had that nasty experience, so to say.
No, great. I want to take you back to your days in Glow, where I know you spent, I didn't know you spent up to 6, 7 years. I thought it was just about
Yeah,
3 years.
6, 7 years, yeah.
Amazing. Can you put your experience in Glow overall? How will you put it together? From the moment you joined Glow to those events that you went to, because I know you went to a number of events, both within and outside the country. What experiences did you gather in the course of this event that helped to also shape the person you have become, the Tony that we know today?
Working in Globacom gave me a lot of advantages and a lot of edge. I met a lot of people, even in the office, who are still my friends till date, that I met a lot of people, celebrities, Nigerians and non-Nigerians, who are still on my speed dial at the moment. If I need them for anything, I could always get in touch with them, So that I'm grateful for. So the customer care part, working in Ahmadu Bello wasn't so cool for me, because initially when I got into Glow, they were like, because of your experience in Multilinks, you would not stay long on the floor in customer care service, So I was thinking I'd be moved on time and I wouldn't stay there for long and all that, So, and medically, I wasn't so fit for the floors. I didn't really like it at all. But working out of that, working in ShopRite, Glow ShopRite, working in my Kadenuga Towers, working in other Glow branches actually made me a happier Glow employee. Let me put it that way. I met loads and loads of people whom I'm still in touch with. I met, my experience, of course, is second to none. And I'm so glad I have that Glow on my CV for life. And I'm still in touch with them. Even some, when they come to Dubai, we still get in touch, we still hang out, We still go for coffee and all that. So yeah, it changed my life for the better. And it made me a more connected and better person. Let me just put it that way. Yeah.
Interesting. Any regrets for working in Globacom actually? Yeah. Your days in Globacom.
Let me think. Generally speaking, working in Globacom, I would say I no regrets at all. No. Because the cons outweigh the pros. Let me put it that way. There are pros and cons. I have my pros and cons, sincerely speaking, but the cons outweigh the pros. So let me put it that way. So I would say no regrets. Yeah, no regrets at all.
All right.
But I'm glad I resigned when I resigned. I'm glad I resigned when I resigned because I was already tired. I needed a break. I needed a change. I'm glad I resigned when I resigned.
So did that, what difference did that make when you resigned? What was the immediate thing that came to your mind when you resigned from Glow?
I resigned because I was relocating to the UAE. That was the main reason. Yeah. So yeah, I resigned because I was relocating to the UAE for a better life. So it wasn't that impromptu, but it was I didn't announce it. It was just a few days before I left that uh, I tendered my resignation letter, and they were like, "Are you sure?" HR called me. "Are you sure?" Blah blah blah. Meanwhile, I'd already planned everything. I'd sorted everything out, so I was very sure what I was doing. And I think I resigned on a Friday. By Saturday evening, the next day, I was at the airport coming to the UAE.
Hmm. How was it like settling down for you in the UAE?
Um, Settling down was not so easy and it wasn't so difficult. Luckily, I had and I still have a sister, a younger sister here. She's here, she's been here for a number of years with her family. So when I came, I was with them for a few years, so I was able to like gather my feet and decide on what exactly I wanted to do and move on. So it was not so difficult for me because of family, the support system I had, you know. If you're coming to the UAE, you don't have a good support system, it's not so easy. But if you have a good support system or you have a job, maybe you were poached from whichever country and you're here, you'll love it here. But if you're just coming and you're like, no job and all that, it's not so easy. So I thank God for my own life. It was not so difficult. Let me just put it that way. Yeah, it wasn't so difficult at all.
Any
But
experiences
it
of
will get
Nigeria? Any experiences with Nigerians who've gone to the UAE and have messed up seriously? Have you heard any of those
sorry?
stories? Have you heard any
Sorry?
stories about Nigerians who went to UAE and probably messed up big time?
In every country, you have the good, the bad, and the ugly,
Yeah.
you know. So it's not just Nigerians, but of course, I've heard a couple of times Nigerians did a couple of things. But generally speaking, it's not only Nigerians that are like painting the country black outside Nigeria. Other races, other countries from other people from other countries too are misbehaving, not just Nigerians. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I've experienced and I've heard authentically the couple of things that some Nigerians did here in the UAE that were not so appealing. But I don't want to talk about it. So yeah. But on the other hand, let me put it this way. On the other hand, let's be optimistic. There are many Nigerians here in Dubai, in the UAE, who are excelling in their various fields. They are doing
Okay.
very well. Let me just, talk about that. They are doing very well. And that's why I set up Fireworks with Toyin. Fireworks with Toyin is the platform that actually like spotlights Africans, especially Nigerians who are excelling here in the United Arab Emirates, and we get to celebrate them on that platform. So I don't want to talk about those that are not doing well, those that are disgracing themselves and the country. I'm focusing on those that are doing very well. So on that Fireworks with Toyin, I've been able to do two episodes. I had the owner of Kiza, Joe Osawaye. He's a Nigerian as well. He was my first guest on the show. I had Mudupe Omonze. She's the owner of Runway Dubai. She's Nigerian as well. She also lives in Dubai here. So there are many Nigerians like that who are doing very well, here in Dubai and UAE generally. So I'm trying to focus more on that. That
Focusing on the positive much more than
exactly,
what
exactly, exactly. Yeah.
that's good.
So yeah,
It's an attitude some don't have. I think some people think life is about criticism, but I think life is about critique anyway. Critique means you look at the positive, you look at the negative. Criticism focuses
yeah.
more on the negative. So I think it's a good one. Let me take you now briefly into as our time is really running, your world as a blogger. That transition from telecoms and whatever you were doing into the world of blogging. When you started off, what was on your mind? Did you see yourself taking it to the point that you're taking Junibee's world to today as a blogger, operating from a foreign land also, and the things you've been able to focus on? And on Junibee's world, okay, let me start with that before I take you to the next question. How did you settle into blogging?
Blogging for me came by chance. Like I said, I was very, very active on Facebook. That was my favorite social media platform. So I used to post news, post fashion, post lifestyle and luxury and jokes and memes and all that. And people were like, why don't you start your own blog and all that? So the blogging came by chance. It wasn't something I actually planned. What I was into was beauty and skincare. That's what I was into, and that's what I'm still into. So we basically import skincare products from the UK, Switzerland, America, and distribute to spas and supermarkets here in the UAE. So blogging actually came by chance to me. It wasn't something I planned. So I didn't even know much about it. People were like, do it, do it, do it, make a good blogger, you'll be a good blogger. So my friend, a Nigerian girl, she lives in Abu Dhabi. Her name is Maureen. She actually started around the same time with me. She was like, don't worry, I'll open a blogspot for you, blah, 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 blah. So she opened it for me. She did everything. I don't know how she did it. And she just asked for my Gmail, which I gave her. And she was like, okay, I'll run your blog for you, blah, blah, blah. I'll do it for you, then you can start running it, blah, blah, blah. So I gave her all the information and she did. Then I started posting and sharing, blah, blah, blah. Then I had a minor issue with the blogspot.com. I suspended it for a while. Then I had my own domain, which is still on toyinbalogun.com, but it's not active at the moment. I started blogging on that platform. Then I now have the two. I blog on the two platforms, the blogspot.com and my own personal domain. So I blog news, general news, events and entertainment and all that. But I thought I had to carve a niche for myself. And now I said, what do I really love to do? So I don't copy others. What will flow, from me that people will say, yeah, this is Toyin's trait. This is Toyin B. So I love lifestyle, I love luxury, I love fashion, I love events. I'm like, okay, let me just concentrate on those things instead of blogging the general news, the global news. Let me have a forte. So my forte is actually events and entertainment. So most Africans or most celebrities, when they come to the UAE, I try as much as possible to get to meet them, to interview them. Unfortunately, when I started blogging, when I did the interview for most of these people, I hadn't started blogging very well then. So some of these things are not on my platform. But initially when I started this blogging thing, it wasn't really big like the way it is now. It's still not big. It will get bigger by God's grace. And then it was still in the primary state or nursery state then, So I got to meet Akon. I interviewed him, the Senegalese American superstar. I got to meet Zendaya's dad. Yeah, Zendaya's dad. He gave me an exclusive interview. I got to meet Kimora Lee Simmons. She gave me an exclusive interview as well. Emery, Omi, the guy who sang Cheerleader. A lot of them, even African artists, P-Square, Peter and Paul, they were still together then. Awilo Logomba, this comedian, what's her name, from Uganda, Kansemi Ann, Sheyi Shea. I got to meet a lot of them, I interviewed them, but I hadn't started the full-time blogging then, so some of their interviews are not on my platform, but I gave them some exclusive interviews, So yeah, that's how the blogging started. It wasn't something I planned for. It was just by chance. Then I became, because anything I start in life, I'm always very serious about it, especially when I like it, when I'm passionate about it. So I kept doing it for like 5 years and I've been so consistent. And my team, we're just like a team of 2 or 3 people. We're trying to cut costs, because UAE is very expensive. So my team is not that big for now. So I try to do most of the things by myself, apart from the technical part. I'm also techie. So I have my tech people and my videographers and all that. But the blogging, the writing, the editing and all that is me, So yeah, it's not been easy. What I'll advise people to do in life is whatever you start, whatever you're going to do, make sure you're passionate about it and make sure you're consistent. Of course, trials and tribulations will come. Don't ever give up. Keep keeping on, So I kept keeping on. I kept going on. I didn't stop. For 5 years, of course, I didn't, like the first 2 years, I didn't have any advert, nothing. People were just reading, commenting, hailing. Oh, Toyin B, you're doing very well, blah, 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 I didn't have any adverts. You know, I was even going out to meet people, writing to people, please advertise on my platform, blah, blah, blah. One person actually did advertise even before the Toynbee was bigger than it is now. You know, the guy's a Nigerian. He was running Impact Press events company here in the UAE. I think they've gone back to Nigeria. You know, so he was my first patron on that Toynbee's world, and you know, ever since then, I've been getting adverts here and there. You know, event people, they get in touch with me. They're like, okay, put this up on your blog, help us write about it and all that, you know. So it's been a journey. Let me just put it that way. It's been a journey. It's not been easy. You know, I'm always very frank with in life, you know. It's not been an easy journey, but it's been worth it. It's been worth it. It's good to be consistent in life, be dedicated and be passionate about whatever you venture into, you know. So yeah, and luckily for me, last year.
Go on.
Last year I was it last year? Yeah, last year, early last year, I got a call from Nigeria that I was one of the 100 listed awardees for Social Media for Social Good Awards in Africa. That was my first award. Yeah. So the event held in Oriental Hotel in Lagos. I couldn't go. My friends went in lieu or in my place. They collected the award for me. Then a few months later, I got another call that they had been seeing my work online on social media, and they wanted to recognize some Africans in the Middle East alongside other people, other nationalities, you know, that they wanted to recognize them for their work. Palodec, something to do with Nigeria and Africa, something, you know. So I was given another award. I was honored, you know, at an event in Dubai. Wow. It was held on a yacht. Yeah. So last year, I got 2 awards, and since then, I've not been looking back. It's been getting better and bigger.
Interesting. It is good. It is good to get those awards, those recognitions. You know, it's sometimes not enough. It's sometimes an indication that somebody somewhere is seeing, you know, what you're doing. Now, I want to take you to, as a blogger, you've met Entertainer.
Hi Trish. Sorry, let me just recognize a few people. Hi Trish from Dubai. How are you doing? She says lovely. Thank you very much.
Yes. You look at a few things, and then you look at how tough life can be. Let me take you back to the Nigeria you left. There are some young persons, some young individuals who have a passion about wanting to do things. They're passionate about wanting to birth a certain business or do something. For some of them too, they just may look at, okay, I also want to be a blogger like Toynbee and all that. What will be, and for them, you know, unlike in some countries around the world, the level playing field, to an extent, maybe not to the top of it, is made available for people to try. You really don't have much of that here in Nigeria, in as long as it is referred to as the giant of Africa. So for some young persons out there who really want to do things like you did, and then be able to run them, what are some of the important qualities you think can help sustain them? What will you advise them to focus on?
Sorry, I didn't get that. If they want to go to be
if they want to
a blogger,
anything, yes, maybe as bloggers, or to want to become entrepreneurs, or want to do anything.
Okay. The main thing, my main advice to budding entrepreneurs or budding bloggers or prospective business analyst or developer, what I'll advise them is to start small. Start small. Take baby steps. You don't always have to have all the materials available for you. Start where you are and with what you have. No matter what, or no matter how little it is, start where you are, start small. From there, you take it and you grow bigger and bigger and bigger. Don't expect everything to be in place for you before you start. And don't expect everything to be perfect. Don't expect the moment to be perfect before you grab it. You can make the moment perfect by taking baby steps and starting where you are. So yeah, that is it. Natalia, holy Wi-Fi.
What's your advice also for bloggers generally, you know, around in Nigeria? I'm sure you have a perspective about Nigerian blogging. What's your advice to them? Someone said, I hate bloggers in Nigeria because all they do is they come and show you fake lives.
Copy and paste.
Copy and paste, lots of it like that. And so it's having lots of negative and wrong influence on some young people. What's your advice to Nigerian bloggers, Feneyam?
Well, most Nigerian bloggers, how will I say? I don't know a lot of them. Let me be sincere with you. I know a couple of them. I know a couple of them personally, and I know a couple of them publicly, like, the ones that are doing very well, And, but what I noticed is that, let me be sincere with you, I hardly read Nigerian blogs. I'm not trying to run anything or anyone down. The only platform I'm always on that I love and I enjoy, because he has actually carved a niche for himself, is very natural. I love natural people, Tunde Ednut. I love his page on Instagram, So I'm always there. He doesn't do a lot of copying and pasting. He's very creative as well. He's innovative and creative. So I like that. I think it's one of my best Nigerian bloggers. Then in Africa, my best blogger is Ameya Deborah. He's a Ghanaian. He lives in Ghana. He's niche to his events, So he's one of my mentors. I look up to him. I see his blogs. I read his posts every now and then. Then overall, in the blogosphere, my mentor is Perez Hilton. He started this blogging thing in the whole wide world. He's American. Of course, he's in America. He's an American in America. Everybody knows Perez Hilton. He's very blonde. He too does global news, general news, but his niche is events and entertainment and vlogging. He does a lot of video blogs and on YouTube and Facebook. So those are the three bloggers that I look up to. So I don't know any other blogger, but from what I see and what I know, which is not confirmed, but I think is true, most of them, the other bloggers, all they do is copy and paste. Most of them. And they don't wait. Huh?
Lots of copy.
Sorry? Yeah, a lot of. And most of them, one thing I've noticed is they don't confirm the story. They don't wait for confirmation of a story before writing it. And that can damage, that can make or mar a person, which, so they need to look into that. They need to verify the news, the credibility of the tabloid or the source or whatever before they actually make it public. But they don't care. They just want views, they want readers, they want to make money from you, Google and all that. So they just, which I think is not fair, So that's one thing I've noticed about they don't verify their information. They rush to just put it out there and that's it. Once they say, Tony B is this, they don't even verify. Let me even call or inbox her, DM her on Instagram. Let me find out whether it's true, and all that. Before you know it, once maybe a top person blogs it, maybe like Linda, before you know it, bam, they all go there, copy and paste, and everybody spreads the gist, and negative news goes faster than positive news. Before you know it, is gone viral. Yeah. So that's one thing about Nigerian bloggers.
Someone said she didn't get the name of the blogger.
Perez. The name of the American blogger that I love is Perez Hilton, and he's actually my friend. I love him. He's so natural. He's very down to earth.
Is it Hilton?
Perez Hilton. Perez, then Hilton, Hilton.
Okay.
He's amazing. He's very humble, very nice. He's doing very well. He started the blogging thing like 10, 15 years ago, before everybody came on board, even before Bella Naija, before all these American blogs and bloggers. He started it. He's the pioneer, Perez Hilton. So he's one of my mentors and an African blogger. His name is Ameya Deborah. He's very nice, very humble, and very, very real. His source, his news, that his news is authentic. Anything I read there, just like Dele Momodu's page, like 99.9% of whatever I read on those pages, if it's not true, in fact, it's rare. Exactly. So any news I read on those pages, I know authentic news that will lay. You know what I mean?
My time is fast, friends. I wish I had plenty of other questions to ask you, but I'm sure I'm going to bring back to you. But I want to end with this. Just tell us briefly. How do you unwind? How do you relax? How do you unwind?
Oh, how do I unwind? I love listening to music. I love listening to music a lot, and I love to dance. So sometimes I unwind by going out for a glass of wine, or I do it indoors. I like to listen to music, just relax, and I do movies a lot. I can do movies indoors in my house or go to the cinemas and do the movies and just chill. And most times I like to be by myself. Sometimes I like to be with people, but that's once in a while. But most times I like to be with myself, be by myself and just generally chill, you know.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. There are questions I really want to ask you, but because of
Have
time,
we done 1 hour already, Joseph? Have we done 1 hour?
we're almost there, and I don't want
Okay.
Instagram to cut us off in the process, you know.
Okay.
And I
Oh,
know
people
I
are
thought
asking questions. I thought we'll ask questions. We'll answer questions here. Hi, Natalia.
uh,
Majority don't verify. Yes, majority don't verify, and they're too eager to spread news when a damaging news has gone viral. It's too late. Yeah, very true. Damage control. Yeah.
just look at the comment and see if there is anyone you want to respond to quickly before we close the show.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Natalia, Holy Wife, Trishi, hi. Anyway, I thank everyone for coming on board. I truly appreciate everyone watching now and everyone that will watch this video much later. Maro, Queen Sandra, Japlos, Zazie, Darylon, DJ Jose, Duro, Trishi, Patricia from Dubai. Maro says, Akokite, yes. Pride, in fact, many people, and I'm sure many will watch it later. Anyway, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm an Akokite 2 times over. I'm an Akokite 2 times over. I had my master's there in Unilag, my
yeah,
public administration as well, and I was the
yeah,
best graduating student in my time. I came out with a GPA of 4.17. So
fantastic.
yeah, I'm an Akokite to the bone.
All right, for those who take the time to join us, this has been Impact Time with Joe. My guest has been Tony Balogun, popularly known as Tony B, publisher Tony B's World, entrepreneur, influencer, and big blogger she is today. I'm going to bring her back again on the show sometime to talk about some other things. There's a whole lot about her that you can look at and say, okay, um, you can learn from. She's literally much younger than my age. I can assure you that. Don't ask me what I know.
Oh
Absolutely,
God.
our questions I will ask her. But I'll bring her back again on the show. So, India, I want to say a very big thank you for taking this time out to speak with us this morning, for being on the show. I certainly will bring you back again. I wish you the very best as a blogger. And really, until we get to bring you back on this show, I want to say continue to do what you're doing because you really are impacting. Thank you so much. And for those who have
Thank
joined
you
us,
for having me, Joseph.
thank you very much.
And I look forward to another session with you. Thank you so much. Amazing.
I assure you, I'll bring you back again. I certainly will bring you back. Thank you for those who have spent their data being a part of this morning's program. Until we come back again, I think next week, Wednesday. And of course, this program comes on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. Wednesday, 7 p.m. and on Saturday, 11 a.m. So, Ibi, thank you so much for being on the show. And for those who joined us, thank you for joining us. Have yourself a
Take care.
wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Bye bye for now.
Bye.